Okay. So, we know with Chris. So generally, the things that you're looking for when you think about leg drive in the serve. The first one is obviously how low someone gets. Okay? How low we get. We know with Chris already, it's an area that we might be able to improve on before the upcoming tournament. And then out of that position, it tends to be whether they leave the ground, not jump from the ground, but do they leave the ground? And to what extent does that happen? Because you can't leave the ground without generating force against the ground. So we know that must be a marker of someone who's at least using their legs to some extent. So we should see that. We should also see the racket go down the back. Remember we spoke about it earlier, creating distance in the swing. So I'm in this position, I'm set, I drive up, my racket begins to go down the back, I go into maximum external rotation, my racket tip goes below the waistband of my pants, so down towards my bum. I should see that happen. Okay, if I'm using my legs effectively. Yep. And we need to see both legs working. So front leg and back leg. So we're paying attention to both. Alrighty. Last one. Alright, what do we think? Bear in mind we've got some constraints with Chris, like we spoke about earlier, every individual does. So, does he leave the ground? Yes, he does. You can slide a dollar bill under it, but no, he leaves the ground. Could it be more? Yeah, it could. Okay? What do we see out the back? You guys that were standing at the back, how low did the racket get? Got to about mid-back. Didn't get any lower than that. Didn't get down towards the bum at all. Okay? But that might be a product of Chris being limited legs, because we know the legs drives that action. But equally, Chris might be really tight here. So regardless of how much work we did with the legs, just by virtue of Chris being really tight, he might struggle to get too much range there. Perhaps. Okay, and we also know the trunk plays a role. So we look at that and go, yeah, there's definitely work that we could do with the legs. In terms of front leg and back leg, the back leg is not pushing much. Okay. When you guys think about the legs, and think about a foot up server, what percentage comes from the front leg, what percentage comes from the back leg? Really? 80-20? Oh no, now you guys, what is it? What do you think? Just in your own opinion. More from the front foot? Yeah. Okay. Yep. Anyone else? You may not have even thought about it before. Point being that both legs need to work. Okay? The front leg will always work more than the back leg because it's the one that's closer to the toss. So in terms of a force vector, it's going to be the one that's driving in that sort of fashion. So that'll happen naturally enough. What you don't want to see happen is the back leg being a real passenger. Okay, so in terms of percentage terms, the numbers you guys are throwing out, yeah, it makes sense. What you don't want to see is 90-10. Okay? No, so a few things to separate. The intent needs to be the same. So when you're thinking about in the player's eyes, they're intending to use both legs as much as one another. You don't consciously think, I'm going to use this leg more than that leg. Okay? By virtue of the way that you orientate your body, this leg will generally drive more than this leg will. That's just the way it is, by virtue of me setting up and put this back leg the way it's geared. So, yeah, a couple of reasons science hasn't gone there, because if you like, to determine how much this leg's pushing versus that leg, you basically need force platforms and so forth underneath your feet. Great, and what did it show? Perfect, okay? Which is where you were coming from. Right, so the point being again, front leg will always drive more than the back leg. Right? But the intent is that both legs are actually doing the work. You will always see the back hip travel quicker than the front hip because it's got more distance to cover and it's coming over the top. Okay? As we rotate our fronts. Alrighty? Let's see Fred. Same, we know that Frederick doesn't get down as low as he could. Right, and everyone has to move positions. Because at the moment, if you can see everything from where you are a much better, you have a much better eye than everyone else. Move around, make sure you're in position to observe what you need to. Because you guys may struggle to see what the racket's doing. Okay, last one. Okay, what do we see? Legs come off the ground. Yeah, we know Frederick doesn't get down perhaps as low as we might want. Legs come off the ground. Yeah. What about this down the back? Nowhere near it, huh? No. Okay. Yeah. So, but nowhere. It's not where it needs to be. Again, so we suspect that's going to be related. In terms of the service action, it'll generally be related to what the legs are doing or what the trunk is doing. Okay? Or both. But equally, again, physically, he might be limited here such that he's not able to get down there. Okay, but immediately, we should leave. We know that we can charge these two guys a fortune because we've identified some things we can work on. Okay? So, bang. We've got some clients for the next 4 weeks. Alright, so that's where we're at with the legs. Really engaged, both legs need to be driving. So, and let's come back around again. We swing back around. Okay? So again, that only comes about by virtue of him driving really effectively with legs, him beginning to rotate his trunk such that the racket arm trails. Okay? So we get that idea, the serve's beginning to build. I'm here, I've set up, I'm in trophy, I'm beginning to drive up, that begins to go down, these muscles are all stretched, and I'm creating distance out the back. Distance to help me build speed during the forward swing. Okay, so it stretches the muscles, it creates distance, away I go. Okay? And it's also tight. I've got the elbow bent, which helps with stretching these muscles. It also keeps things close, so when the trunk rotates over the top, there's less moment of inertia in the system, less resistance to rotation. Okay? Leg drive, what do we think? What are your expectations there? You're working with young kids, you're going to be working with kids out there today. So if it's 100% as an adult, what does it look like at 15? What does it look like at 11? What should it look like? What are your expectations? Again, there's some exceptions. I showed one at the conference. 50-80. Okay, anyone else? Yeah. 90 at 11? 100 at 15? Okay. 100 at adult? Alright. Anyone else? 40-80? Okay. So tempering your expectations. So there's a bit of variation, even within you guys as a coaching group, in terms of your expectations. They might change between male and female. But again, you need to have that in mind as a coaching group. Do you expect the same of an 11-year-old as you do a 15, as you do an adult? Okay? So there's something to be mindful of. Alright, the trunk. So what are the 3 ways the trunk rotates? Everyone know? Okay, so I've got 3 ways around this axis. I'm going to twist. Then, around this axis, what am I going to do? Flexion extension. Yep. And then, the third one, through my belly button. Go shoulder over shoulder, cartwheel, lateral flexion. Okay, in other sports they'll call it lateral flexion. When you turn shoulder over shoulder, and it's stuck in our sport. Okay, people find it easy to understand. All right, so we've got Murray and Roddick. How do these guys go in terms of the trophy? Have they got the tilted alignment? Shoulders? Yep, they do. In terms of the elbow, where it might be in relation to the trunk, Roddick's a special case because again he's got that real lag, that gooseneck. So he might be around 90, maybe slightly less. Murray's racket slightly trailing down the court, so there's imperfections in these guys' swings as well. Alright, but for the most part we know that they're set up, they're flexed, they've both got their hip in the courts to some extent, they're laterally, their shoulder over shoulders, relatively prominent, or their lateral flexion is their tilt. Who's more rotated than the other? Rotated, twist. Murray, much more. Okay, versus Roddick. So immediately you go, okay, Roddick's not relying on that as much as Murray might be. Okay? So, as it relates to shoulder rotation, in the first 2, we see twist. Okay, in the third photo, we still see twist with Murray. Okay, rotating there. And then in the early stages of the forward swing, we're beginning to see Murray's right shoulder elevate, Roddick's right shoulder elevate. So shoulder over shoulder begins to feature in that part of the serve. Okay, that's not to say the other actions don't, other rotations don't, but shoulder over shoulder is slightly more prominent at that point. Okay, continues into the forward swing, then you see twist, and you see this one come through. Okay? What do we see here? Shoulder over shoulder has created what sort of posture? Some extension, hasn't it? As the shoulder begins to drive up, some extension becomes slightly more prominent, allowing the actual player to come through with all of his mass. And that becomes a really important point when you begin to compare what's most important to the serve, if you like. So here's just a breakdown of the different stages in the serve. Ball toss to maximum elbow flexion, so think about that as trophy. And then you've got maximum elbow flexion into external rotation. So from this position into when I'm beginning to get to maximum external rotation, and then maximum external rotation to impact. What's the highest number on the screen the whole time? Forward or flexion. Okay? That produces the largest amount of angular momentum, or is the biggest contributor to service speed. Okay? It contributes the most to serve speed. That way. Shoulder over shoulder rotation helps discriminate and differentiate between servers that serve at very high speed and servers that perhaps don't generate the same amount of speed. But the flexion piece, or how quickly I'm able to flex is that which contributes most to service speed. Okay?
If we ask a lot of them to go too much extension in the bank.
Yeah? You ask a lot of kids not to go into too much extension? Yeah. So, and that's a good point, and we'll pick up on it in a little bit. In and around injury, you mean? Yeah. But just take that into account, that the biggest contributor to actual serve speed is forward flexion. Okay? So it's the largest of the 3 rotations. It's what means that we end up in this sort of position when we serve. We've got lateral flexion, where we see helps us get into this position, which is why I mentioned both with Chris and Frederick, it's not just the legs that create that maximum external rotation. It's also shoulder over shoulder rotation. And that's where it plays most of its role. It actually begins to, as I begin to drive, I begin to come over the top, that forces my racket into that position. Because I'm already on that rotation line, if you like, I continue through, but that's where it plays its primary role. That initial drive forcing me into maximum external rotation, stretching all of my muscles, creating that distance. Okay? And you see it there with Federer. It's a perfect example. And then you've got twist. So twist creates distance and almost indirectly contributes to racket speed. Okay, by creating distance with the swing, separation angle and so forth. Okay? Message has been, and I mentioned this again in the last couple of days. Over the last 10 or 15 years, myself and a couple of others have done a really, really good job of emphasising shoulder over shoulder rotation. It's important. Everyone's grabbed hold of it. But equally, in doing that, understand that it's not the only, or even the most important driver of front rotation as it relates to racket speed. Okay? It's not. That does happen to be the one variable that we have seen relate to injury, and we'll get to that in a moment. But just to re-emphasise that point, in percentage terms, the exact same thing as we saw before, but just in percentage terms, this is how much flexion contributes to the total angular momentum in the system during the different phases of the serve. So think of it as preparation, you got flexion, lateral flexion is shoulder over shoulder, if you like, and then flexion is literally about that axis. So that's just re-emphasising what we saw earlier. And as I mentioned, of all the work that's been done looking at low back pain amongst tennis players, the one thing that's fallen out so far is in essence the force that we create laterally during the serve seems to be most related to the development of low back pain amongst young male players. So again, that sort of talks to this idea of it becoming a more lateral action. It hasn't really been extension, it's been this notion of being a lateral force generated whilst at the same time as being rotated and extended. So all together they contribute to that sort of pain we see develop amongst particularly our young boys. Yeah. I think we overdo it. So, and the one thing that we didn't talk about with either our two players, and we'll go back and do that in a moment, the different types of leg drive, if you like. So, but here, just to re-emphasise the point, these guys getting forced into a laterally flexed position at the same time as when they're extended. So when we think about extension, oftentimes coaches will think about, I don't want to get my player into this sort of position. Well, yeah, you don't, but that's not really what creates the problem, so to speak. It's as I begin to drive up, I go into more extension anyway. Okay, so my leg drive and the early part of my shoulder rotation actually forces me into that position, depending on where my ball toss is. Okay, so sometimes it's a really tricky one to avoid. But it does beg the question, and again, this might be happening in Belgium,
but it certainly does in most other parts of the world. What age do you introduce the kick serve to your players? 12, 11, 15, 16, okay. Most coaches will talk about 11, 12, yeah? So my question to you is, why 11, 12? Why not 15, 16? Why 11, 12? Yep. Yep, I agree with that, yeah. So why then at 12 do we introduce the kick serve? Okay. If we know the kick serve is what is most related to back pain, and we know at the age of 12 kids are about to do that, grow a lot, why do we introduce it at 12? Who says? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Perhaps. We know back pain occurs between pretty much here and there, or around it when they're growing at their peak. We also introduce the kick serve around the same time, which introduces a large amount of stress by virtue of the way we're trying to rotate. It's a question I don't have the answer for, but we do this out of tradition. Pardon? Yeah, okay. Yeah, and maybe you don't teach the kick serve perhaps as well as other parts of the world then. Because the trend is generally that you introduce the kick serve at 12, you don't do that with girls. Boys get stress fractures, girls rarely get stress fractures. Boys generally get stress fractures between the ages of 12, 13 through to 16. The one difference between the girls and the boys, in terms of perhaps the actions that we teach, generally you can trace it all back to the kick serve. We don't teach the flat serve any differently. Backhands, in terms of force on the spine, about 2.5 times less. So again, as I said, it's not a question I have the answer for. But it fascinates me that we continue to do this. Because, for no, I don't know, that's when I learned it. Kick serve, yep, 11, yep, got it going, yep, rolling over the top. So it's convention. But if we went down the path of 15, 16, I don't know what you want to mention. Why do you go 15, 16? Yeah. Okay. So as I said, I don't have an answer to the question, but it's something that in the sport, for me, we tend to do because we've always done it that way. This is my own point of view, and so it happens to coincide with. Yeah, maybe, but you could have slice. You could have, maybe you're right, but the girls don't get it. We don't do it with the girls. So if that argument held, we would also do it for the girls, but we don't do it. Okay, so again, as I said, there's one to think about. There's no real answer for today, but it's always fascinating. Let's get back. Let's have a look at our guys, the way they rotate their front.
Chris, if you want to serve, please, mate. One thing I wanted to maybe draw our attention to when we thought about legs. Question for you guys again. When you think about leg drive in the serve, what joint do you typically focus on? So leg drive, use of legs in the serve, what joint do you typically focus on? Is it hips, knees or ankles? When you look and you're watching with your player, where do you tend to look? knees, everyone, huh? But it's a three, it comes from all three joints. Ankles, knees and hips. All three have to drive. Okay, so you see often with taller players won't get down as far with their knees, but they generate a large amount of spring with just their ankles. Okay, so just focusing on the one joint can be misleading. You need to be able to go, okay, yeah, no, which of these, all three parts are really engaged to drive up the impact. But we won't go there, we've already been through the legs, so we'll focus here with Chris on the trunk rotation. So how do we think he's set up in terms of twist, shoulder over shoulder, and extension, flexion? Last two. Cool, okay. Alright. What do we think? Chris? 2 out of 3? What 2? No. He had twist. He certainly favours twist, doesn't he? And his ball toss sort of lends itself to that. And then he gets a little bit over the top as well. But he does get some flexion. But it's not necessarily coming from an extended position in the flexion. He's neutral, and then he'll flex. And because Chris is a big guy, he still gets a reasonable amount of weight on the serve. Okay? So, but yeah, generally twist would be the one that he really relies on most. Fred. Last one. Okay, cool. What do we think? What do you guys reckon? Pardon? So he's got twist and... Do you think he does get it up? Yeah? For me, I thought it was probably a combination of, yeah, gets around here a little bit, and then as you see him begin to drive, he gets into some extension, and then comes over the top with the weight behind the ball. Okay? In terms of shoulder over shoulder, I probably maybe didn't pick up as much of it as you guys from that. Understand, for your players, and this will connect in with where we go to with ball toss, depending on where your ball toss is orientated, it's going to mean that you favour a particular type of rotation over another. Okay? And we'll go there in a moment with regards to the ball toss and the alignment of the ball toss in relation to what players do on serve. Alrighty. To racket speed or their contribution to racket speed at impact. Not before impact, but at impact. Okay? What numbers surprise you there, if any? No? You're comfortable with all of them? Hand flexion? At the end? Yep. Okay. Low percentage of leg drive at impact. The legs aren't really working anymore, are they? So they're not going to have a direct influence. They have more of an indirect influence at impact. What else? Pronation tends to be a big one. Pardon? Yeah. Yeah. So that's where you relate that back to the positions that players get into. So Federer there, that extreme external rotation, that then recoils, and that's what the principal driver of serve speed
actually is. Pronation, because a lot of coaches around the world really emphasise pronation, where they actually mean it to be internal rotation. Okay, so internal rotation occurs about the shoulder, pronation occurs about the forearm. An easy way to think about the distinction between the two in terms of how they drive the racket forward is and it's not quite fair, but I'll do it. If I'm in this position, as I come through, so I'm bent, so to speak, as I come through during the forward swing, if I pronate, how much does my racket go forward? My racket tip of my racket. Does it go forward at all? No, it just orientates the racket face. More or less spin. If I rotate about my shoulder, how much does the racket drive forward? A lot, huh? So that helps us to understand the distinction between the two. And we'll also touch on in a moment while we have an offset. Okay? So they're often surprised by pronation. Pronation plays a real role in terms of orientating the racket for impact, spin, less spin. Internal rotation, large amount, we know that. And then extension. Why might extension be negative? Elbow extension. Negative.
Fall in the joints when it's set.
Yeah? Yeah. Yeah, come back. It's the wrong direction we hear over here. So the wrong direction, for elbow extension to positively contribute to racket speed, I'd need to serve like that. The elbow extending and driving the racket forward. We know that doesn't happen, does it? So during the actual swing to impact, as I extend, if I extend in the pure sense without, as the trunk rotates and so forth, it's actually taking the racket away. Okay, the arm's rotating, it's not actually driving the racket forward. Okay, so it plays a role, it helps the other joints, internal rotation, hand flexion, deliver real speed to the ball. Okay, so it in essence plays an indirect or complementary role as well. Okay, and it's obviously really important for hitting height, so we can't get away from that. So we've got the upper arm action, we've been through that. Some less desirable setups, we know that there, in terms of elbow positions being too high, not appropriate for the arm action that we might want to see. So Schüttler, Menchikova, Satin, low. Here's Casey Belacqua. So that's called hyperangulation, where you're actually travelling past the line of the shoulder. Okay, so here, so again you want to be aligned. Let's turn that way. As soon as you go beyond it, you're replacing this muscle immediately on stretch and you lose range. Okay, so players don't want to be here, don't want to be low. That 90, preserving that becomes important for most players. Some players are low, and then as they begin to drive up, they fold back into 90. Still not ideal, but better than staying, I guess, low altogether. We've seen that consistent across all throwing sports. Again, we know those positions we can't get into without great leg drive and trunk rotation. Here's just some visuals. In essence, you're tracking the black dot. The black dot becomes more into view as the player rotates towards impact, and that's internal rotation at play. Okay? So internal rotation about the upper arm. Right? And remember, that doesn't happen without the legs really engaging, the trunk really engaging, driving me into external rotation, stretching the muscles, allowing me to snap back through. Okay? I don't physically do that. And that's what we stepped through earlier. Now these positions, they internally rotate out of that, drives the racket forward. That's the function that the pronation, extension, hand action of the wrist. Again, there's some debate in and around how active that is. So how much control am I actually in? Or how much control do I actually have over the wrist, given that it's travelling at such high speed? And we often emphasise drills that work on wrist snap. I'm standing on the service line, I'm trying to bounce the ball into court, bounce up the back of the court, and focusing on wrist snap. Oftentimes that wrist motion occurs after impact, because it's travelling so quickly up to the point of impact that our capacity to consciously control that can be limited. Okay, so again, you did work through that same process here. Point being though, with this one, generally, as it relates to the upper arm and its contribution to serve, or its percentage of a mature action, your expectations need to be far lower. These are the last things to kick in. Legs and trunk typically come before kids being able to use their arms really well. Okay? So it's not really until after puberty you'll really see internal rotation begin to play a really key role in the serve. So again, you need to temper your expectations. When we get the kids in this afternoon, I'm not expecting any of you that have got an 11-year-old to all of a sudden be getting, oh yeah, no, internally rotate, we need to do this. Again, unrealistic for that age. So you need to shape your own coaching approach. But it's with some exceptions across the pathway. So here, you guys mentioned your percentages beforehand. Here we can see with the upper limb, internal rotation. This is Sam Stozer when she was the US Open champion. This is Ash Barty, who won Junior Wimbledon the following year. She's one of the more talented females that came through, I guess, that generation. And then one of our better 11-year-olds at the time. So this is 11, 15, adult. We can see with the arm action, wrist flexion, internal rotation, in particular, elbow extension, lower percentages for the 11-year-olds and the 15-year-old. And then you see leg drive, and you see trunk rotation, higher percentages in terms of how quickly they're able to rotate their trunks or drive with their legs. Now these are exceptions. Most 11-year-olds aren't able to do that. In this particular occasion with Sione as the player, who was an exceptional athlete, her dad was an Australian soccer player, came from real athletic genes. She's able to do much like an adult. Rarely the case. Again, so shift those expectations. This one, shoulder abduction angle. Who's ever heard of that before? Yeah? Do? Okay, so that's the difference between this. This is my shoulder abduction angle. What is it right now? 90. What are we saying it needs to be at impact? 110. What do you guys think it would be at impact? Pardon? 170? Okay, most coaches will talk about, 160, 170, nowhere near. Okay, so if I'm going to be 110 at impact, what must I do? Yeah, the body's got to go with me, which ties into shoulder over shoulder rotation again. I'm set here, I rotate over the top, as well as twisting and flexing forward. I preserve that alignment such that at impact, I'm still, in essence, around 110. And across all throwing sports, baseball, volleyball, tennis, the preservation of that angle is shown to be optimal from a velocity point of view, as well as injury, loading particularly at the elbow. Okay? So then why is the racket not aligned? So the racket, again, a lot of coaches will talk about being as extended as possible at impact. So why doesn't the racket draw a straight line between my arm? Because of the grip? I can still use a continental grip and have a straight line. Pardon? Okay, yeah, but relate it back to me for what action. So how does it help me? Pardon? The wrist has limits, yeah. So it's not a natural position for the wrist to be in, for one. But also, what else does it help me with? If this was straight, and now I'm internally rotating, it doesn't drive the racket forward, okay? If it's now offset, and I internally rotate, it helps to drive the racket forward, creates speed. It also allows me to preserve this angle, as well as have the ball toss in the position that I want. Okay. I want you to tell me where you think with Chris and Frederick up the line. Okay, assume your normal serving postures, please tell us. Okay, so as if you're ready to serve. I want Wilson, Technifiber and Gert. Sorry fellas, can you come out, grab a ball each and put it where you think Christian, the impact point for Christian in relation to Chris in relation to his front foot. Yeah, you're right. So you're here on Thursday. You don't know. Were you here on Thursday? Okay. Mr. Wilson? Okay, impact point in relation to front foot. Okay? Alright, and you guys, who was here on Thursday? You weren't here? Okay? Bang mate? Yep. Put it down on the ground for me where you think it is in relation to the front foot. And for Fred, yeah. No, sorry. Okay, my fault. Where you want it to be. Okay? Where you want it to be. Where you want it to be. You want it to be there? Okay? You want it to be here. So think of Frederick as anyone that you are working with. Any player you are working with, this is Frederick. Frederick. Okay, and this is Chris. Okay. Alright. Anyone who disagrees with this as being the optimal impact point, please grab a ball and get it out and put it down. No, grab a ball, new ball. Anyone? Everyone happy with Fred? Impact point in relation to front foot. Hopefully I'm explaining the question. Worcester. Okay, so we're all set. We're all happy. It literally is like being an auctioneer. And remember, this is where we want them to impact, not where they do impact. Everyone's understood that, yeah? And everyone's comfortable with where they are. Are you guys comfortable? Which ones do you think, maybe?
This one is
Bit close to, okay. How about you, mate? Rather dangerous, alright, so you don't like the look of that one. No? Okay. Alright, for me. So your foot up, your foot up or foot back? No? Foot back. So if I was asking myself the question, yeah? And here, maybe slightly further back, but a bit around. Maybe slightly. Generally speaking, you can think about the impact position as aligned with the heel of the front foot. The heel. This. Okay? Somewhere between there and you could say 12 o'clock. So here you survive
These guys get sent to La Cárcel, the prison. This guy goes for a first serve. These guys go, they disappear. That he survives. Okay? In terms of your impact position. If those of you that have it out here, if for a moment we entertain that, what sort of rotation do you think you're going to get? Twist? What sort of angle do you think you're going to get here? Is it going to be 110? Going to be up here, isn't it? 180, 170, because you're going to be basically coming around twist, doing that. Think Anna Kournikova, think Elena Dementieva, think all those servers that we look at and go, what are they doing? They're hitting off the ball toss as some of you guys are suggesting. So we need to change that thinking. Okay, for our high performance players, it'll be aligned with front foot, slightly to the left. That'll help us with shoulder over shoulder. It'll help us, sorry mate, wooden racket. It'll help us with shoulder over shoulder coming over the top. It'll help us with kicking height because we're taller in the serve. It'll help us preserve that kink to help drive internal, or help internal rotation drive the racket forward. Okay? All of those things begin to fall into play when we get the right alignment of the toss. Right? So then the body can only do so much. So the way that I like to think about it, right or wrong, when you think about a second serve or a kick serve, and the slice should be hit off the same toss. The way that I generally explain it to players or coaches, if that's where I'm hitting my flat serve, here, okay, which would be a comfortable spot for Chris. If I was going to hit a kicker, I'd go there, okay? The body can only twist itself in so many ways. So that's what I expect, okay? The structure of our skeletal system, if you like, only allows us to do so much. All right, but a rightward facing toss isn't where you want to be if you want to serve at high speed. Definitely not. Be it in the women's game or the men's, off a first serve. Second serve might shift to the left. Anyone got any questions on that? Now, if we think about the different tossing actions, sorry mate, cheers. Relate that back again for us in terms of where we were earlier today. So if I'm now coming here, past my front hip, my ball is going to follow that trajectory across. If I'm down to my front hip, it's going to be far more straight up and down. But for the most part, I'll contact it off that same point. That hitting shoulder, if you like. Hitting leg. Alright? Anyone got any questions around that? No. Kids from the age of 14, you should observe that. Okay? So, yeah. 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 Yep. Yeah, so it comes back to the athlete you're dealing with. So that illustrates that for a young player, if athletically she's able to do it, you can have those ingredients at a young age. Okay? So, and Sian hasn't had an upper body injury ever. She's a small athlete, so strength's not necessarily a serve, but yeah. But again, that's just one part of it. That's the speed of the rotation. It's not describing anything to do with maybe the force generated. Okay?
Different.
Absolutely, yeah. So I don't think when you guys were describing, and I can put up the averages at the end. But I think there is a safe sort of play in my mind. Understand that kids, where they struggle, kids can generally get into the same type of posture. So they can get down, they can have the same amount of knee flexion, they can have the same amount of rotation. But where they're not as good is coming out of that position. So they don't come out of it as quickly. So because they don't come out of it as quickly, they tend to not go as far. Because they can't come out of it as quickly. So that's the cause-effect piece. The cause is they don't have the strength to come out of it really quickly, so the effect is then that I won't go down as far, or I won't place as much stretch or range in the system. Okay? Pardon? Or they toss, yeah. Or they toss higher to compensate. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. On the serve, like the splaying, you mean? Like this? Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. It may be a strength, so I think the question is, well, when, yeah, the strength problem, yep, absolutely. Or players' hips can be set up in a way that, yeah, absolutely. All right. We've covered off most bits. There's other bits and pieces of the presentation that I think we can probably go to. Yep.
When you navigation surface required to see the slides,
Yep. That's 6 centimetres, but it varies. Yeah, but you can't necessarily perceive that from the other end. So fundamentally, it's off the same toss. So, and that's what we talk about as coaches, isn't it? Ideally, you want to control the toss, same toss, and you're able to hit through all parts of the court. Yeah.